Hello everyone, I'm so excited to be doing this video because Riot is basically, look, they're not going to say it, but I will. They're essentially announcing a new game. That game is Teamfight Tactics, and if you are very familiar or if you've heard of AutoChess, it is basically Riot's take on AutoChess. Now, really quickly to explain what I mean by new game, this is not at all like League of Legends. None of the gameplay elements you're used to from League of Legends come over. None of the elements of that. You're not controlling a specific unit. You do not have access to abilities that you trigger at certain points in time. The game happens on kind of like a turn-based, round-based format. It is, for all intents and purposes, a very different game than League of Legends. I think that Riot does not want to call it that, though, because this game is like, well, it's a lot more simple, and I don't think that they want to think of this as the second game they're releasing. But if you play League of Legends and you play this game, I think you would probably agree with me that it is not League of Legends and it is nothing like any of the custom maps that they have created previously. So, you might have heard me a second ago mention AutoChess. A lot of you may be familiar with AutoChess, and if you are, then you should probably skip this next element of the video. I will put a timestamp below for where I get to the League of Legends take on Teamfight Tactics and explain sort of the differences. I've got like 50 to 100 hours, I think, in AutoChess, I want to say, so pretty familiar with it. But let me go ahead and explain it to you for those of you that do not know. So basically, the way that AutoChess works, it's a custom map that was made within the Dota 2 client. Yes, the irony here is hilarious. The fact that Riot's first game, League of Legends, was a take on Dota, and now they're, again, they won't call it a game, but their second game is a take on a Dota 2 custom map. But basically, it's a custom map that was made by this development team called Drodo. It blew up. It became huge. It's a huge part of the player base on the Dota 2 client right now. I've played a ton, even though I don't really like Dota 2. And the tons of the League of Legends pros also play it. Kobe plays it, etc. So the way AutoChess works is it's basically an 8-person game. You hear chess and you think, okay, so it's like chess. Very little like chess. In fact, it's more like a card game, because essentially the way it works is you are drafting units every turn. You are making gold. You are either spending the gold or hoarding the gold to gain interest, and then ultimately, like, you're leveling up the cards or units that you're buying. They're battling against each other. The game flow is like this: you log in, you get in this game with 8 people. And you are, in the very beginning, presented with 5 or 6 different pieces. You pick one of these 5 different units. So for Teamfight Tactics, your options could be Lucian, Lissandra, Teemo, Sona, and I don't know, Taric. And each of the units has a different ultimate ability that they use once they've attacked enough to get their mana bar full, because you gain mana by attacking. It's an ultimate ability. So some of them might be something where you freeze a bunch of units, or Lucian's is he dashes around a ton and shoots. They're pretty much inspired by the League of Legends champions that you're used to. So you buy a unit, you place it on the board, you battle against, in the beginning it's just sort of like creeps or minions, but eventually you're battling against the other players and what pieces they're putting on the board. And then you either win or you lose. And at the end of that, you get some gold. And you can either spend the gold the next turn on one of the units that pops up on your screen. You can choose to re-roll those units for gold and then try to pick from those. Or you can spend the money to try to level up and put even more units on the board. Because essentially you have an avatar. As you are leveling up, you're getting XP every turn, you can put more units onto the board. And you get some higher tier units too. It's a little complicated. I highly recommend that if you want, if you're interested in Teamfight Tactics, if this is too basic or confusing or whatever, go read a guide about AutoChess, because essentially it's like hard to explain all of AutoChess to somebody in this video. But suffice to say, it's round based. You're fighting against other people. And you are not controlling anything. You are just essentially selecting cards or units and putting them on the board. You get more cards and higher level units over time. La da da. So that's what AutoChess is. So Teamfight Tactics. So Teamfight Tactics is Riot's take on AutoChess. You draft League of Legends characters. They go on the board. They have League of Legends style abilities that they use over time. And then there's also items that are just like in League of Legends. You can get recurve bow, etc. Those items over time can combine into becoming other items that give your cards different abilities. And there you have it. Talking a little bit about some of the differences that I've seen, because I've played this game for an hour and a half. I was able to play it last Friday, and I'm currently filming this video about 8 hours before the announcement hits. So some of the major differences. So the board's a little different. The squares, for instance, are arranged in hexagons, so I think it gives you a little bit more of an idea of where the units are going to go and sort of their movement than what you've seen in AutoChess. They still have like the unit type and unit origin is what they're calling it, which are the two things if you played AutoChess where you can decide, like for instance, Yordles is an origin, and as you get more Yordles on the board, your Yordles gain dodge. And I went with like this glacial type because there's an origin and a type, and the glacial type, for instance, it was Lysandra and Sejuani and not Nunu, I forget who, but they could proc, I think it gave you like a 10% chance in the early rank to freeze an enemy. So I think that is really cool. By the way, I have no video footage of this. Unfortunately, they didn't let me record anything, and they haven't given me a video or anything like that to showcase. So you're just gonna have to take my word on it. Either way, I think if you have played, I'm gonna keep it short. If you've played AutoChess and you like AutoChess, but you are a League of Legends fan, this should feel really good to you. I had a chance to play it, and I really liked it. I will say it's in a pretty rough state, and while I hear that they're supposed to be getting it out with the next major patch, which would, I think, imply a June release, I'm a little surprised because I think that the game is, it's lacking a lot of the polish, and I think that they will fix that. I'm curious to see how quickly they fix it, and we'll see. But look, all I'm saying is I played two games of it, and it was an hour and a half long, and I really wanted to play it again. As I said, I really like AutoChess, and the fact that League is making this is fantastic, or that Riot's making this, it's fantastic. And it feels so cool to like be buying the champion pieces from a game that I know. Anyway, I want to just talk a little philosophically about this and what it means for Riot. One, I'm really curious to see how you all enjoy this game. It's going to go into the League of Legends client. It'll be accessible. In my experience with it, you queued up for it the same way that you queue up for a League of Legends game, and then you get stuck on this map, and then you're just playing Teamfight Tactics. Again, it's just their AutoChess, and that's what it's like, a very easy, seamless experience from the client. There's a lot of the similar stuff that you see in AutoChess, where your courier there, in this case it's like an avatar, I forget what they are calling it, I maybe have it in the document here, but you can make that based on, I think they might have like a Poro one, they have like a Penguin one, it's kind of like a cosmetic thing. I think that's how they're planning on monetizing it. And yeah, you upgrade your cards or units the same way that you do in AutoChess, where you buy additional stuff, and so suddenly you've got like this big Garen that's like dunking on people, and I gotta say it's really enjoyable. For me, I don't know, I'm just happy that Riot's doing something. I mean, I think it's maybe I just passed my 10-year mark on experiencing this game, because I want to say it was like 2009 that I was playing the open beta, or the closed beta actually, and it's always been the same. It's been, you pick a character, a League of Legends champion, you control it on the map, and even when they do custom maps or they do ARAM or whatever, it's still that experience. And it's really exciting to me that AutoChess, which blew up in popularity earlier this year, that Riot was nimble enough to kind of create this thing. And it's a basic game, so it doesn't require a ton of development resources. I mean, I'm sure in comparison to some of the other stuff, some of the stuff we're seeing at E3 this week, right? But it is just really exciting to see this coming down the line from them. I think it's perfect. You know, like AutoChess was a really easy morph out of sort of the Dota 2 world with all their heroes and all that. So I think League having their equivalent is fantastic, and it's a game that I know I'm going to be playing a ton of. I'm really excited about it. Got an interview with Kobe going up on the channel because I know he's also played it. Mark has also played it, and so he and I are going to be talking about it on Hotline League. We're trying to get one of the devs on tonight, so hopefully we have some announcement around that. And yeah, I mean, look, I'll be around. Hit up Hotline League if you have questions, because I can tell you, Mark and I can tell you what our experiences have been with it so far. But very excited about it. Really happy for Riot to do this. I get why they're not calling it a second game, but it is not League of Legends, and they've released it, and that is, or they're about to release it, and that is a beautiful thing. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Thank you to Alienware for supporting all the stuff that I do. Really appreciate that, and man, I cannot wait to play Teamfight Tactics. I'm excited, and I think that they can pull this off.